back to the English. I'm your host, Jared Beeler. I haven't put out a video in a few weeks, and I feel like I need to just do kind of like an update or something like that. The course that we're taking right now looks like it's going directly towards exactly what we've been waiting for, and this does look like it's going to be the year. There's been a few things that have been waiting to happen, and between last fall and this year, those events have taken place, and I mean, it's exactly what you would expect, especially with war, and that being one of the fronts to the start of the tribulation. One of the things I've been looking for a while is World War III, especially since I found out that happens before the tribulation, the peace deals start. And you guys have heard me talk. I think they're going to use that to draw the 10-nation lines as basically all the people where they've sighted up and stuff like that. And after the smoke is done, they're gonna have their lines right there. So it'll be ready to kickstart right when the tribulation starts for the man of sin, the Antichrist, who comes out on the scene. And I keep watching each new event taking place, and it's falling right in where it's supposed to be. You guys have heard me talk about Nibiru and stuff like that. And if it's true from the inside sources that it really is in 2021, because of the reverse breakdown that we've done, starting from the middle of the tribulation and working our way back to the 2-year mark, and then finding out that this system that comes through here and how long they plan to be underground is around 6 months, and then leaving the first year and a half for the seals, which makes sense because there's starvation and things that happen that kill a quarter of the Earth's population, so it takes a little while. It lines up really good, and if that's the case, then it would start this year. So we've been looking at it. You guys know that I'm looking in June sometime for this thing possibly to kick off and stuff like that, because from a few inside sources that say that World War III goes for a couple months, and then after that a peace deal comes out of Europe. America isn't on the map anymore, and if it is, it's going to be a third world country. It gets taken out at the very beginning. The reason why is in the Gog and Magog attack, which will happen simultaneously with World War III. The reason for that is that they can burn the weapons and stuff for 7 years. All right? Could they do that into the new millennial reign? Yeah, possibly, but I've never thought that much. And then I can't think of John Finn, when he was talking to God, he heard what God told me. He said it would be an aspect of World War III, and that's kind of what I was starting to assume anyway. So it'll take place during the summertime. But nobody's there to defend Israel, it says in Ezekiel 38, which means us defending Israel and everything like that right now, we're not in the picture anymore. So the Jim Baker show and all that, to think that we're protecting Israel in the second half of the tribulation when it talks about the wings representing America and stuff like that, no, it's talking about God's hand and how he has deliverance in them, and he protects them and stuff like that. America isn't, it's not on the map anymore, and it looks like the Dimitri Duduman prophecies and things like that, where New York gets nuked, Florida gets hit, the East Coast gets hit by Russia, EMP wipes out any communications in America, West Coast gets hit simultaneously from China, and earthquakes that rip up the whole western coast, taking out Seattle, Portland, California, and then I think Las Vegas gets nuked or whatever. And the way things are looking, I mean, it's all lined up in that direction. But I keep waiting, keep looking for more signs, because there's certain things that will take place, like the seals and things like that, all right? Because of World War III, which I originally thought would be the second seal, and then finding out in the beginning, I came to the conclusion that it must be something else, like a type of peace removed, and anger that's in everybody, where they want what's theirs, and they start fighting each other, and they kill each other for the things, food, or whatever else that it is. Whatever it is, it takes place after that tribulation starts, which would be next fall, okay? And when he had opened the second seal, this is Revelation 6:3, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, okay? This is that event that takes place. What I've been paying attention for is the next one I'm going to read right now, third seal. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see," and beheld and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand, and I heard the voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." If you want to break this down into a paraphrase, takes roughly a day's wage for a loaf of bread. It's a hyperinflation, a massive hyperinflation. Extreme food prices go through the roof, okay? And that's one of the things I want to talk about. It's another one of the signs that I haven't really been mentioned on too much. It has, but not in this angle that I'm talking about right now. If World War III is this summer, Gog and Magog as well. You guys know that I've already taken numbers and lined up where it would start the tribulation to put the man of or the deal where the Antichrist goes into the temple and gives 1,260 days, which will land on Feast of Trumpets for the second coming to be fulfilled. I worked my way backwards, reverse engineering the whole thing, right? And I do it. I've done it each year now, and that would line up between September 23rd and 24th, the same time they have their annual UN meeting. All right, this would line up perfectly for them to bring it out and say that they need world peace and everything like that, and bring the new guy on the scene. The rapture will be taking place before all this, all right? Sometime in early summer or spring before this war kicks off, it looks like. We might see some of the regular bombing of it, and then when the nukes fly, we get out. Not sure. It doesn't have to, but I believe that God will get us out of here before that. But one thing's for sure is we're not here for the tribulation, so by the time that happens in the fall, it's out. But anyways, the four horses come on the scene. They come on the scene fast. They need to get their things going because it kills, when you get to the fourth one, a quarter of the Earth's population in the time that it has within a year and a half. Okay? But the third seal, the hyperinflation, all right, because of food price and things like that. Can nukes do that from a World War III over the summer, causing plant? Yeah, definitely. It can really screw it up. But look what's taking place in America and around the world. These weather storms and things like that, including in the Midwest, that's causing the corn to not be able to even be planted yet, and tons of cattle dying, and all kinds of other disasters that are taking place. This isn't just taking place here; it's taking place all over the world. And they're saying by fall that there is going to be an inflation of food prices that's going to be through the roof. All right, so that's what I'm looking for, because this is one of the opening signs for the tribulation to start. So it's right where I'd expect it to be if it is this year. Okay, that's what I kind of wanted to bring out and talk about real fast. Okay, that's right where it needs to be. So it's just another sign, a really big one that looks like it could be that. Like I say, you throw some nukes in there over the summer, and you think prices, they're talking prices being bad this fall, they're going to be through the roof. It's literally going to be a day's wage for a loaf of bread. Okay, which is exactly what the tribulation is going to be like. Okay, just in the beginning. And of course, it gets worse as it goes through. By the time you get to the halfway point, you're already over half the population of the Earth's killed. And we have that guaranteed number just from seals 1 through 4, and then trumpet 6. All right, seals 1 through 4 take out a quarter of the Earth's population. Trumpet 6 takes out another third after. That's an add-on. All right, right there, that's over half. And that doesn't even count out the asteroid that hits, all right, from Nibiru just before the 2-year mark. All right, and all the other stuff where death's coming in, it takes out a third of the oceans and life and stuff like that around the Earth. I mean, death is just going to be everywhere. It's no joking matter, and people think that it is. They think they're going to make it through it and be hustling and bustling, or jumping from mountain peak to mountain peak, being the 144,000, and a whole bunch of other silly nonsense. And I've warned 1,000 times, it's no joke. You will die, and the whole point of it is to draw that line and step on either side. Are you going to follow God and serve Jesus, or are you going to follow Satan and be a part of the world? All right, many will fail there because of fear and things like that, but it will be the time that they've been talking about right now, where there's a comeback to Christ, and it's not before it, because like I've said, people don't turn to Christ when things are going good and everything's peachy. They do it when things are bad. All right, and the wake up call will be in the tribulation. And just like I was hearing somebody speak the other day when they were talking to God, when he told them that he would pull a family here and there, just like Lot and Noah's family. Those that are looking, searching, and watching, and waiting for Jesus, they're going to get pulled out of here before it happens. And those that aren't, they'll go into the tribulation. But the signs are here. The signs are exactly what we've been waiting for, and this totally looks like the year. And I haven't stopped looking or anything like that. It just it's going so perfectly towards it. So all I can do is watch and see how it goes. Because I want to get out here as bad as anybody that's been waiting their entire life, like I have, to step into our real life and into eternity, and for this awful test to be over with. And it looks closer than ever. And that excitement's going to be there. And the only reason I'm not totally jumping through the roof with enjoyment, with total excitement right now, is because I've looked at it quite a few times and it looked like it was going to get close, and I'm held back. But I'm telling you, if I find myself in that gas station and it's looking close and everything is lined up, I'm going to be jumping for joy, because I know that it's about a second away from happening, and that's going to be totally awesome. But all the signs are there. The war is pushing. The preparation for nuke dropping has been taking place. Russia has nukes in Venezuela. There's a conflict there. I think they have them in Cuba. China's totally pissed off at America, tariffs and everything like that. We're just amping up that more and more. And like I say, they got the islands for a West Coast naval invasion of America. Russia put in the sub that's going to hold the Poseidon missile, which causes tsunamis and things like that. So all the visions of Florida getting flooded and New York getting taken out by subs from Russia. I mean, it's all there. I mean, everything's right where it needs to be. It's all taking place, and everybody's mad at each other, and they're ready for it. The whole thing's kicking up. You see the restrainer loosening the hand a little bit, and this whole thing's going to go. And originally, they think they're going to have it under control. There's plan to bring the world's population down and rule with Satan and all this other stuff. That's what they think. And then it's going to go spinning out of control, even out of their hands, and these astronomical events. And then when it comes to God's bold judgments, where he's turning the ocean to blood, stuff like that, they're going to realize they have absolutely no control. But they'll fight all the way to the end. And just like it says, what are they forgetting to do or refusing to do? The same thing that most Christians are, refusing to repent. And they're still shaking their fists at God all the way up to the end. But when all the riders come back with God at the second coming, judgment's up, time's up, and and every single person that's resisting Jesus is going to be totally annihilated as he sets up the 1,000 years, But everybody has that choice, every single person. And, if you've never accepted Jesus, now's the time to do it. Literally, you're in the 11th hour, 59th minute, and last second. It is so close. And this really does look like the year. It really finally does look like the year. And that is absolutely exciting, totally incredible. And almost hard to imagine because we've been waiting for so long. It's been 2,000 years, and it's been talked about for years and years, and it looks like it's finally here, and we're about to find out. But they're pushing towards it. You got the Pope calling for the one world ruler. I mean, we already know that he's the false prophet, like you say. He fulfills the Malachi prophecy. All right, from the 1100s, and the Revelations chapter 17 being the 8th king, when the popes were given kingship in 1929 through the Lantern Treaty. Okay, I mean, he's totally the guy. The Antichrist is still hidden. They still got him hidden a little bit. Could turn out to be somebody we know, Obama and everything like that. Or it might be something totally different. We're not sure. But as for right now, he's still, in a way, hidden, and he hasn't completely shown himself like the false prophet the Pope has and what he's doing. But evil's moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. They're doing everything they can. The division in America is just off the charts. And they created it that way. Obama was one extreme about the worst, and yet he has followers and people that love him totally left. It's like, wow, they just love being the worst. And then you got the far right that's following Trump or whatever, and it's created a division. That's exactly what they want. They want a civil war here in America, because within that chaos, it's just even going to be more easy to take us out, which is the plan. America has to get taken out. We're the last resistance, the last stronghold that holds against a new world order. Everybody else is giving up their guns and stuff like that, and we do fall. It's scriptural. It goes right into it, and there's nothing that we can do about it. It's going to happen, and it's awful that we can see it happening in front of us, but it does take place, and that's exactly what they've won. When Albert Pike and the Goon Squad from back in the 1800s predicted it and said how they were going to run World War I, II, and III. They went totally to the T, and then they said the third one would be started through Islam, and they would do it that way. And then the ultimate plan was to crash atheism and Christianity at the same time to bring around the ultimate agenda, which is Luciferianism. And you can see them working towards that right now with the shows like Lucifer and stuff on TV. And they're constantly trying to push that Satan's cool and Christianity and stuff is bad or too extreme and all this other stuff. And that's exactly the direction that they're going right now. And we see it every single day. They just keep pushing more and more and more towards it. And that's exactly what the plan is going to be. You see it on all your music singers and everything like that, all their satanic videos. And of course, the world that isn't suspecting, it's all pre-programming. They're thinking it's cool, and if you want to be hip, then you got to listen to that crap and everything like that. They don't realize they're listening to a bunch of people that have sold their souls and are working with Satan. And this goes into every form that you can possibly think of. I heard a couple people talking the other day on the radio, and I was surprised because they were talking the infiltration of evil and getting into everything and where it is. And these were some pastors, and it was on one of the Christian channels, and I couldn't believe it. And you guys have heard me talk about it before, but they said it, and I was kind of surprised that the seminaries had been infiltrated as well, teaching a lot of the pastors false teaching and things like that. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Not only infiltrated, but infiltrated by Satanists and people that hate God and Illuminati members and stuff like that. And they'll put on the role of Christianity, but they'll hate at the same time. You guys saw Pat Robertson the other day when he said that creationism is a total lie and a push for gap theory through evolution, which is appeasement. You guys will never see me do it, okay? And I hear it all the time, and it's coming out more and more through Steve Quayle and other guys like that. And those guys are great, but I'll never take that route. And when I first told God that I want to know the truth and that I would follow him, but it would be according to the Bible and stuff like that. Everything he's showing me, all the places he's showing me, every single detail, all the secrets of the universe that he is showing me, I have kept that promise. And that promise is that what he's created. Were the angels and stuff around before this dimension was created? Yes, absolutely. But when they start talking about this gap theory, or there's this time before that, listen, the stars and things like that, they weren't even made for until like the fourth day. So to think that there was anybody out in what would be space or whatever, when there's absolutely no light of any source or anything like that, no, it's not real. Now, other dimensions that we don't know about yet and we haven't experienced yet, they could totally be hiding in there. But for the third dimension, this sucker was started and created 6,000 years ago. And I hear a lot of stuff that's going against that, you know? And of course, that with comes deception, because you guys, I mean, I haven't made the video, but I've kind of given the hints for different things for people to look out for, where you can see people mess up and where one area leads to another. And it always is in a double, all right? And we call it the threads of deceit. All right, if you're wrong in an area, as little as tithing, all right, if you're saying that it's mandatory and that you have to, and going against Scripture when it was totally done away with, okay, just to make the point, yes, you can totally ask for offerings, it's totally scriptural, and you can give as much as you want, totally fine. But if you're saying that you're under a curse, you're not blessed if you're not tithing, when tithing was done away with, it's not needed, and you shouldn't do it. Can you give? Yeah, absolutely. But to tithe and expecting to get something back on purpose, you're not doing it free will, you're not giving it free will, and it's not scriptural. The second the veil was ripped when Jesus was on the cross, that was all done away with because the Levites were done away with. There's no need for the temple anymore. We became the temple. We are the church. There is no church building. You are the church, okay? So if somebody's preaching that, there's a consequence. And I believe that's up to God to decide where that consequence goes. If they have a good heart, it might not be too bad. They just might be off in another area, in a smaller area, nothing too serious. If they're off in a really bad area, it could be damnable, if not leading you into the tribulation. Take True News, for example. Absolutely hates the Jews. Can't stand him. It's totally obvious. Can't stand him. Totally racist against the Jews, all right? What is he? He's a post-tribulationist, okay? He believes he's going into the tribulation. Of course, I'm sure he thinks he's going to do hunky-dory in there, but he's going to die. That is not a belief. That's his consequence. He just doesn't know that yet, all right? There's multiple examples like this, and I call it the threads of deceit. And the reason why is because if you pull on a thread, it has another end somewhere, okay? It's a kind of simple idea, and that's why I called it that. Prayed about it, I didn't know what to call it, and I just wrote down thread, and God gave me deceit, so I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to use. So that's what I call it. All right, there's tons of that going on out there. There's tons of it going on out there. Where did I get the idea originally from? From the Flat Earth movement, all right? I watched the Rob Skibba meeting. I didn't even know who the guy was. I looked in the spirit, and all of them had a strange cloud around their head, except for Rob Skibba. He had a huge, massive one, like somebody was just grabbing the back of his head. I didn't know what it was. And then when I was in the desert, God told me, they're under a curse. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what it is. So I went back and took a look. Tried to find out more about it, what I could see. Lo and behold, what do I find out? They're a bunch of replacement theologists, Jew haters, okay? Huge, massive majority of them, not all of them, but there's people that are off in other things, including New Age religion and stuff like that, and you're also a flat earther, right? You find yourself in this weird stuff, and it'll drag you into it. It's your consequence. It's your threads of deceit. That's how I found it. Only to find out that, you know, Rob Skibbo hangs out with Satanists, and the guy's totally bad news, which doesn't surprise me. And he wasn't that bright for a while until he gave himself over. You can't hang out with demons and evil that long before you're not totally over, and like it said a while ago, all right? And this is where we get into the whole once saved, always saved thing that people flipped out on. I was trying to point things out so people could see when they don't have the abilities that I do, so you can look at their fruits and find out, you know, are they legit or not? And their fruits will give the bearing of that sort of thing. And everybody freaked out like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm trying to find out where they are, only to discover that the once saved, always saved was the thing that I've been looking for ever since my rapture vision, why I only saw 8 people going up, and why it makes the number so small, all right? People that have said a prayer once and have never asked for forgiveness and could care less about walking with God or doing the right thing, okay? The consequence will be bad, all right? And I've warned about it tons of times, okay? You know, you can only warn so much, but if people don't want to do it, and when you got guys like Steven Anderson say, no, never repent, never do it, and the guy's screaming and cussing and everything like that on top of his pulpit, it's like, wow, man, you're straight up asking for damnation. It's totally ridiculous. Yes, we're totally saved by grace, but in no way are you to live a life of sin and going back to the plow. And when you do mess up, because we all will, and we all do every single day, it's our responsibility to ask for forgiveness, repent, and stay in His grace, which keeps us in His hands, keeps us in that good grade, and gives us the joy that we have to look up and know that we'll be taken with that comfort, okay? And if you're not doing that, you know, it's dangerous, and you can find yourself left behind, but you will have the answers on why that happened, okay? And once saved, always saved. It's level 1 Christianity, okay? That's the reason why I couldn't figure it out. You guys know that I've said that Christianity is in a linear walk. 30 years Christian doesn't mean jack, all right? You could be a Christian for 6 months and know more than somebody who's been in 30 years. That's why I like to compare it to the folding of a katana. When you fold that blade, it doubles each time, doubles the layers. You learn something new in Christianity, boom, it'll explode and open up whole new windows like branches, okay? All right? The very first level of Christianity where you just ask Jesus in your heart and your son, that's it, all right? Then once you start getting to like level 2 or 3, you realize, wow, there's preachers out there that aren't even saved. They're talking God, even how to ask in their heart, and they're so far from God, it's ridiculous. How can that be? Because they're not saved. Did they ask Jesus in their heart? Yeah, absolutely. Could they have been saved for a while? Yeah, sure. Did they fall away? Totally. They got choked out by the vines. One of the things, the last problem that people deal with when you're following Jesus, all right? If you make it through the trials and the judgment and stuff like that, okay, you're doing good as a Christian, and then here comes the briberies. And a lot of people, especially pastors, don't make it through the briberies. And when they do, they'll get flipped. And then you throw in the threads of deceit. Next thing you know, you got guys like Kenneth Copeland and Jesse Duplantis saying that it was Adam that breathed life into the animals, and God's not very smart. And blasphemy like that is absolutely ridiculous, okay? I am just going over a whole bunch of stuff because I never know when it's going to be my last video. But the whole point of this is I just want to get something out real quick. Said this thing's on course. It's heading in the right direction. It looks like it could be this year. You guys know that I want it to be. If it's sooner than it is, thank God. If it's a little bit past, oh well, that's okay too. But we're definitely in the time. We're past the 70th generation. We're now between the 70th and the 80th. Things where they need to be, things where we want to be. We got the Deagle report that says that America's population is down by like 80% by 2025. I mean, we got every single thing that lines up, and all the hints and all the pre-planning that they put in people's minds. I mean, it's all there from every movie and things that we see. It's there. So this really looks like it's it. And we keep watching and waiting. Stay humble, stay in repentance, do the right thing. And if you know people that aren't saved, keep talking to them, keep planting seeds, and encourage them. And always talk to them about this stuff, because when time's up, you won't have this anymore. But I guarantee they'll remember what you said. And it's very important. Hope this helps, and just want to get a little information out. God bless. I'll catch you next time. Or maybe I'll just see you in the sky. Later. Bye.